Good morning, everyone. Today I am going to discuss securing training stations. Training station is a place that focuses around employee training, personal development, and other related matters. It is a good introduction to employee training and development. Securing training station has four subtopics, but I am only assigned to discuss the two. The first is the station selection, and the second is convincing an employer to provide training station. How would you determine if the potential work site meets the criteria? These are the established criteria for selecting training station. Number one, employee practices. What are the firm's present employment practices? For example, in the absence of misconduct, an employee entitled to what? Will he be given notice or will he be terminated immediately? Number two is the reputation. What is the firm's reputation in the community? Is the firm known for having a good reputation or a bad reputation? What are they saying about the firm? Number three is the ongoing training opportunities. Does the firm presently have any ongoing training programs for its employee to enhance their skills? Next is willingness to cooperate with school. Is the employer willing to cooperate with the school or college? What are the employer's views toward vocational technical education? The fifth is hours and wages. Is the employer willing to provide satisfactory hours and wages? Sixth is types of learning experiences. Does the firm provide a student with meaningful learning experiences or the experiential learning? Seventh is facilities and equipment. Does the firm have the facilities and equipment necessary to provide a student with meaningful learning experiences? The last one is accessibility and instructor. Is the place or the firm accessible? Is the on-the-job instructor qualified and willing to train the students? As a teacher coordinator, you will have the primary responsibility for locating prospective training stations. However, many individuals and organizations can help you with this task. Number one is the advisory committee. Persons on these committees are usually members of the business community. They provide training stations, or they might suggest others who may be able to do so and provide you with the names of contact persons in those businesses. In addition, you should consult advisory committee members about the criteria for determining the suitability of prospective training stations. They should be given an opportunity to review any criteria you may have identified and to offer suggestions for additional criteria. The second source of information is the associations. Other assistance can be obtained from associations such as civic, social, and service organizations, State Bureau of Employment Services, and labor unions. In addition to suggesting possible businesses you may contact, Members of these groups may be able to give you the names of the employers, personal directors, or other contact persons in certain businesses. Third is the school administrator. As a teacher coordinator, you will have the primary responsibility for locating prospective training stations. However, many individual and organizations can help you with this task. School or college administrators can assist by introducing you to the business leaders or by writing letters of introduction for you to use when contacting prospective employers. The fourth source of information is the community survey. A prime source of information relative to prospective training stations is the data contained in the community survey. Before a vocational technical program is begun, schools and colleges often conduct a community survey to determine whether there is a need for such a program or whether students would be interested in such a program. These surveys are also used to determine the labor force of the community. You can also obtain information through interviews. Once you have compiled a list of prospective contacts, you can arrange an interview with each employer. During each interview, you can evaluate the suitability of the firm as a training station using established criteria for evaluating training stations and on-the-job instructors. You may be asking yourself how you can measure all the qualities listed in the criteria in a single visit with the employer. Interviewing employers will provide you with important information about the firm. Next is by touring of facilities. You should tour the plant and other office facilities to verify such things as working conditions, workers' attitudes, and safety precautions. You should not simply accept the employer's or personal director's word, but should see for yourself what equipment, facilities, and conditions actually exist. Touring the facilities will provide you with important information about the firm. However, this information needs to be supplemented with other facts. Convincing an employer to provide training station. When you make your first contact with the employer, you begin the process of convincing. The old adage that first impressions are lasting impressions has much truth in it. When you make your initial evaluation visit to a prospective training station, you need to conduct yourself in a way that will begin to sell the program to the employer. However, since you are also evaluating the firm's potential as a training station, you need to be very careful not to commit too early. So there are steps in selling the program. First is establishing rapport. The first step in convincing employer to provide training station is establishing rapport. In your quest for training stations, your ability to establish rapport with an employer in the initial conference will be very important key to your eventual success. Start by greeting the employer by the name and introducing yourself. Then, be courteous, communicate clearly, and be enthusiastic about the co-program. Appeal to the employer's interest, and then be a good listener. Be calm and be natural. And of course, be positive. The second step is explaining the program, your role in it, the employer's role in it, and the student's role in it. You need to explain the benefits of the program. You need to encourage the employers to ask questions so that you can adequately explain the program to them in terms of their own situations and needs. The explanation needs to be clear and straightforward. Next is convincing the employer whose firm meets your criteria to provide a training station. You must convince the employer that your program is important to the firm, to the community, and to the occupational area. Remember that this is a conference. Don't monopolize the conversation or lecture the employer. Encourage the employer to ask questions and to suggest problems or problem areas that may exist. Next is answering questions. Any questions should be answered in terms of the stated goals and objectives of the program, as well as in the terms of student career objectives. No matter how difficult some questions may be, it is important to make the employer ultimately aware of the contribution his or her firm can make to the field and to the community through participation in the program. Next is overcome objections. If an employer does have any objections or suggest a problem area, it is essential that you handle these areas honestly and fairly. Sixth is leave business card and brochure. It is also essential to have a business card with your name, the name of your school, the address, or your phone number where you can be reached. In addition, a well-prepared, simple brochure that explains the program and the roles of the employer, the student, and the teacher coordinator in this program can help convince the employer to participate. It shows that your program has been well thought in advance. The last one is referring to potential employer to existing stations for further information. Another method of establishing credibility and value of your program is to give employers at prospective the names of existing stations. They can then contact the participating employers and on-the-job instructors in these firms to determine how well the program is working for them. Training is a great direct way to upskill and expand your knowledge to perform better at work. Training improved employee performance. The employee who received the necessary training is more able to perform in their job. The training will give the employee a greater understanding of their responsibilities within their role, and in turn build their confidence. This confidence will enhance their overall performance, and this can only benefit the company. That's why every respective firm should be convinced to provide training station for trainees.